like this science nerd who went to Apple, a tech company, and then came to like one of the top business schools in the world. And I was just like eyes wide open. And my friends who like had their undergrad in business, they were like, this is nothing. It's the same thing I learned in undergrad. So I don't know. For me, it was all like amazing, but for other people, it was old hat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's why I asked that. Some people will say, man, I took that MBA, I got my MBA, but it was a total waste of time because they say what they learned, like on the job training, like with a startup and et cetera, that it was 10 times better than what they could ever learn in the classroom. So that's why I asked that.
It also completely depends on your professors. Yeah. Completely. Like one of my professors was literally the lawyer on the private equity deal for AT&T.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So we were working in class. She would get to talk with us about the private equity deal that she was working on for AT&T, like in their international expansion from the US to Mexico. So we were getting to learn like things behind the scenes that only executives at AT&T knew. So the business, I would say the business school you go to really has like a huge impact on what you're going to learn, because what you're paying for with your tuition isn't a degree, it's access to the people working on the biggest problems. So I hate when like there's these cheap online schools that are like, oh, you can get your MBA for $10. And it's like, you are not getting an MBA for $10. You're getting a shitty piece of paper for $10. Yeah. Sorry, can we curse on this show?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Anything goes here.
Okay. You're getting you're getting a piece of trash paper. That's useless. Your degree is really about the relationships you build, because today, what is it, 15 years ago, almost 20 years ago, I graduated with my undergrad, and about 11 years ago, 12 years ago, I graduated with my MBA. Most of my classmates are now executives at other companies. Because Perfect. I paid to go to one of the top schools. So if I need something complicated done, I can call a friend who's an executive at that company who can get it done. So that's the MBA. I would not say get it anywhere. It's not about the education. It's about the network and getting to work on these huge projects with your professors.
Yeah, that's what we call clout.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one thing I've noticed, most people, well, I'm not going to say most people, but I would say a small percentage of people that have worked with Apple, Google, Microsoft, a lot of some of these people have had startups. You know, some of these people have done a lot of different things since, you know, they went out there on their own. So what made you want to do that? What made you want to start your own thing and get out there and explore and expand your horizon?
I had worked for other people that were moving too slowly, and it was frustrating for me. Okay. So I started with working for larger companies, and then after I got my MBA, I got to work with a few more startups. And the startups, the growth potential was just so much faster. Like going from taking a startup from idea to 108 million is done so much faster than taking a company like Apple and trying to double their sales throughout an entire state in a foreign country. Because like once you're at the top, there's not a lot of room to grow.
Yeah.
So I was talking to one of my friends when we were at business school, because actually this kind of tells you how old I am. When I was at Apple, it was still considered a startup. It was not considered a tech giant like it is today. So that's the funny thing. Like people are like, you worked at a tech giant. I'm like, well, actually when I worked there, it was a startup, and not a lot of people in Italy knew about Apple. But, so that tells you how long ago it was. So I was at business school, and I was reading this case study with one of my friends who had come from, she had a corporate background, and I had technically, people considered Apple startup, so I had a startup background. And she was like, yeah, this company grew 10% in a year. And I was like, how are they not dead? She was like, what do you mean, how are they not dead? And I was like, if a startup doesn't grow by a factor of 1,000x in a year, or maybe even a month, it's dead because it only had $500 in sales last month. It better have 1,500 to 15,000 this month, or it's not going to survive 6 months. So like I had a completely different expectation for how rapidly companies should grow. And she, coming from the corporate side, was like, wow, 10% growth per year, like saw that as huge.
Yeah, but it's I can see I could see a comparison between a company like Apple and some of the startups or even smaller companies, because I've worked for a lot of corporate companies, and they move slow. You got to meet up, you got to have all these meetings. No one wants to make a decision because if it doesn't go well, they don't want to be responsible, and then there's all